Sports in the City, live from the arena. My man BK Ty in the building. What's going on, fam?
Evening, fam. How you doing?
Man,
Shout out
I'm
to the
great.
sports world out there. Shout out to the city.
Man, I'm great right now. I'm great right now, Lord. Because we in Sports in the City, man. I'm hyped, man. Ready to explode, man, and just get it going, man. Welcome to Sports in the City, live from the arena. I'm your sports G. Reed Richards with my brother from another mother, BK Ty. What's going on, bro? What's going on in the sports world? You know we got to get into it. This is
It's a
our
lot.
first episode, bro.
It's a lot going on right now, and it's actually the best time of year where all of the major sports, well, everything pretty much is going on right about now. We got baseball, we got football that just kicked off, basketball and hockey are getting ready to come around. It's a lot going on right now, man. It's a lot to cover for sure.
That's what I call the convergence. Definitely the convergence. So let me ask you a quick question, Ty. How far do we go back, man? How far do we go back, bro?
Miss Minicello, seventh
And
seventh
you
grade social studies teacher,
you
brother.
losing them, God. You losing them. They don't know about that. And it's go when you took it back. When you say that, they already know. We go way back. Anyway, that's my brother from another mother, BK Ty, in the building. And let me just let your people know a little bit about sports in the city. We started back in Medgar Evers College Radio in 2004. Fathering the current style of sports talks that you see and hear everywhere, using drops, using beats, and sports banter. I'm going to let them know. Shout out to K Cash and Fitz the Maestro and the Radio Nation. In 2010, we launched a live sports group on social media. BK Ty, a founder member of Sports in the City, launched Arena in 2019. The essence of our show is to give a voice to just everyday people who love sports. The platform is built to stream the widest interactive audience and followers to everyday sports fanatics like me and you, BK Ty. Sports in the City, live from the arena, are just sports purists. We fuse the styles of sports with hip hop style cadence and forum debate. We're everywhere at an arena near you, repping the sports bar banter, the barbershop heads. We everywhere, G. So stand up and rep the brand. Yo, Ty, how you feel about that, my dude? Is that facts or not, man? Talk to me.
It's definitely facts, man. We're all about bringing sports from a different angle, man, to the point that you mentioned. We like to keep it more casual. It's definitely more a barbershop or a relaxed feel where we kick it and talk about different topics that are going on in the sports world. Not a sports center thing or any of the other sports networks. More like a regular guy appeal that we're trying to convey here.
That's what it is, baby. That's what it is. So strictly top shelf. That's what we do, right? Because we were founded from Sports in the City. Because you have Sports Center that you mentioned, but Sports in the City, that's where Sports in the Center gets their fans and their base from. But they ain't recognize the Sports in the City, so that's what we here to do. Strictly top shelf, top label. When you in a sports bar, off the top of the pile, news and recap, you always run into that dude that want to talk sports. Sometimes when you just go, for a drink or just casually just go to watch the game, Todd, don't you have a dude just run up on you and just be like ready to talk sports?
Usually, if it's a dude that's bored, we out drinking or partying. That's one thing, man. But when you're somewhere that you don't want to be, what's the great icebreaker? Talking about sports, man.
True, true. So while we gonna talk about sports, we about to get into the Racquets. Gotta celebrate Coco Gauff capturing her first U.S. Open at 19 years of age, yo. Big ups to that, bro. For real, for real.
Salute.
Yo, salute to her. What you think about that, Ty?
Well deserved, man. She fought. She fought on the court, and she fought during what was it, rest or when play wasn't going on. She fought for her rights, and she fought for when she felt like she wasn't being treated fairly. That's a lot of strong character that she displayed. like I said, on the court and on the sidelines. And I definitely think Coco has a very bright future in the sport. Showed a lot of mental fortitude out there.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%. With Coco, I remember Coco. Remember when she played Naomi Osaka and she
Yep.
lost and she was in tears, and Naomi embraced her and put her on the platform to have the interview. I was like, wow, because I knew when I saw her do that from her play versus Naomi, because Naomi was the number one player in the world at the time. And the way that she played against Naomi with such skill, she just wasn't old enough yet. She wasn't grown enough yet. Now she's 19. Back then she was 16. So definitely, I think Coco is going to be the next queen of tennis. What you think, Ty?
I agree. She definitely stands as good a chance as anybody. Like I said, she definitely stamped her brand out there, winning the U.S. Open this year. Not one of the youngest to do it, but to do it at such a young age, it's definitely a phenomenal feat. She's following in the footsteps of some former U.S. Open female champions that have laid the way for her. And, she's coming on strong, and I definitely see big things in the future for her.
Speaking of big things for her, she just bagged that $3 million purse for the U.S. Open. Big up to you, Coco. Love to see black excellence at its finest. And she had a message for the haters. You heard what she said, Ty?
I didn't hear specifically what she said, but I know, like I said, she definitely doesn't bite her tongue, man. She doesn't hold anything in.
This is what she said, bro. She said, for all of those who doubted her, that's what motivated her. And she had to specifically call them out. But then John McEnroe came and said that there were no doubters. So do you think that she was just amping up a scenario in the media?
I think John McEnroe is a tennis icon who's lived a completely different life than Coco Gauff. So
that's a good point.
It's I don't want to say out of line, but it's definitely wrong of him to dispute how she feels and what obstacles she's faced and what turmoil she's gone through to get where she is. Cool. A lot of people that haven't experienced your struggle might try and discount your struggle. Some people feel like their world is the only world that exists. But I definitely think that, she handled it gracefully, respectfully, very maturely. And like I said, let people know that she's not one to be toyed with.
Definitely. Moving on to the men's side of the U.S. Open, Novak Djokovic bets Danill Medvedev for his record 24th major championship. And he ties Margaret Court's record of 24 major championships. Is he the GOAT?
Is Djokovic the GOAT? Yeah. Right now, it's starting to look like that, man. You've had a lot of names. We just talked about McEnroe. You have Sampras. You got Borg in there over the years. You got a lot of great male tennis players that were out there. And Djokovic has put his stamp on the game to say that he's as deserving of that GOAT moniker as anybody in the game right now.
It's 24, baby. Just so you know, Bjorn Borg and those cats, McEnroe and those cats, Jimmy Connors, those cats won like 8-9 majors. Then you had Pete Sampras step it up to like 14. After you had Federer and those cats come on the scene, they took it into the high teens, and now Djokovic is at 24. So the only one that I see that's kind of beefing and disputing that is your man Nadal in Spain, because he's at 23. So he's been showing some shit. He didn't even congratulate your man for winning that U.S. Open.
Maybe not publicly.
He said period. He said period.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He said period. So Joker paid tribute to Kobe. I think that was live, because Joker actually gave props to Kobe for instilling in him the Mamba mentality. The Mamba mentality lives, baby. What you feel about that, bro?
The Mamba mentality is I think something that anyone, sports or outside of sports, can grab onto for a little inspiration. And Kobe was a phenomenal player. his second act after he got out of basketball.
Yes,
He looked
sir.
like he was about to do big things.
Sure.
And his death really brought to light how respected he was. Forget about liked, how respected he was and how much he inspired people. So to hear what Djokovic said about Kobe, it's not surprising at all. Not surprising. It's kind of surprising that he would pick Kobe or say, you know, Kobe was his inspiration out of anyone that he could have named. But I'm definitely not surprised at all.
Definitely Kobe. The Mamba mentality lives. So we're going to move along, reaching the summit, right? Coach Prime. I have to say, I rock with Prime, man. Prime, Dion, you can't front on Dion. Prime time? Nah, come on, man. He leads Colorado University Buffaloes to a 3-0 start. They had a wild one against Colorado State, but what do you think about their start so far? And they have to face Oregon coming up this Saturday, and they're ranked number 10.
Well, yeah, I think the easy part, well, I don't want to even say the easy part of their schedule, but the honeymoon or the cakewalk or whatever you want to call those first two games, that's over. Now the real tests begin for Dion, for Coach Prime and his Colorado
put
Buffaloes.
Some respect on him.
Absolutely.
Yo,
What's
that man
going to be
doing his numbers.
And what's going to be even more of a challenge is them doing it without their star two-way player Travis Hunter, who got put out of the game this Saturday on what many are calling a dirty hit by the Colorado State senior defensive back Henry Blackburn.
Yeah, Henry, that was a dirty play, Henry. But I ain't gonna try to put hands on you. But come on, Henry, stop doing that. That was a dirty hit.
You're a little more level-headed than most. From what I'm hearing now, he's been receiving death threats. I mean,
Indeed.
we know how fanatical sports fans can get. We know how sports can really bring emotion out of you. But to threaten someone's life over a game, I mean, and Coach Prime even mentioned it. You know, all the team forgave him. The team said it was something that happened in the heat of the game. Right. They left it there on the field. Travis Hunter's in the hospital. He said it's something that happened in the game. He didn't like it.
He's out now, bro.
Is he? Okay.
He was online today. He was broadcasting today. So in his giraffe outfit. Yeah. Something like that. So he's back. But the time scale and when he's gonna be back is kind of really not really known right now. But hopefully Colorado can bounce back from the loss of not having Travis Hunter on the team. So we're going to see from there because they're going to face stiffer competition, as you mentioned, in Oregon. The Ducks are not coming to play around. They're not coming to quack. They coming to put that work in because they have a formidable line. So these 2 weeks are going to be a test.
And then I imagine, Coach Prime, he is not the traditional college football coach that we're all used to. I imagine he's ruffling a few feathers with his bravado and his outspokenness. But one thing you can't take away from Coach Prime is that he is all about the job. He's definitely taking his job seriously, and he definitely cares about his players. So,
indeed, he's magnetized that whole fan base in Colorado. But we're going to move on. Hopefully, they're successful against the Ducks this coming Saturday because I'm definitely riding with Coach Prime. Yo, the day after Jay Norvell made that podcast about the shades in the hat comment about his mama told him how to take his shades and hat off.
Yes.
That 1.2 million of those shades sold.
Yep. Dion was like, "Thank you, Coach Norvell. I appreciate the help."
Definitely.
And he didn't have to pay him.
Free.
He got the promotion and he didn't even have to pay the
exactly. Yeah. So in the top 20, let's look at the top 20 right quick before we move on to the NFL helmet to helmet. In the top 20, what teams are piquing your attention right now to be watched? Besides Alabama, we know Alabama is not where they normally are. So if you want to touch on Alabama, then so be it. But I think they got some work to do before they could be talked about in top shelf right now because they dropping in the rankings, bro.
I'm I'm anxious to see what Notre Dame does, man. And also, Penn State, they're coming back up. They're rebounding nicely from all of that controversy a few years ago, with that coach. I won't even mention his name because of the stuff that he did. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Michigan State, yeah, definitely. So the 10th ranked Oregon Ducks are going to face Colorado, who's ranked number 18. Colorado hasn't been in the top 20 in years, bro. Dion Prime, Tom, whatever you call him, Coach Prime, bro, he's changing the culture.
He's
So
absolutely changing the culture. He's changing the culture, and I think another thing that he's doing is he's actually bringing more fans to college football. I was at a party on Saturday, and after the party ended, everybody was inside watching that Colorado State
right,
game.
people who don't even watch football, bro.
Absolutely.
And I ain't even gonna front. I mainly stick to the pro level of sports, but Prime got me watching college football again. I ain't even gonna front. I woke up in 9 o'clock in the morning, getting it in with the college football, bro. So we definitely gonna touch on the top 20 rankings next week, and we're gonna talk about the games that are hitting in this coming weekend. Helmet to helmet, man. How you feel about your man AROD, man? His injury leaves the Jet season in jeopardy, bro.
That's definitely a tough one all around. I got quite a few Jet fans in my family. I haven't spoken to them too much about what happened to Aaron Rodgers, but that's definitely a blow for New York. 4 plays into the season.
Whoa,
And,
whoa, whoa. They got hit that hard.
Four plays,
Bro.
and he went down.
Sounded like Thanos was in the building.
And there are so many different ways to look at this from a disappointment standpoint. You have the Jets, who are still on the hook for $75 million for Aaron Rodgers.
He ain't going nowhere though.
That's an aside. Well, the other thing is
going nowhere.
He's 39 and he suffered an Achilles injury. Not for nothing. That's an injury that's, I think, 10 to 12 months to recover from, just to get your normal walk and to be back functional as you were. And then as far as athletes are concerned, you're looking at another 6 to 8 months for you to get back the skill and the sharpness that you had. And at 39, well, here's the other question. So,
all right, so before you go to the other question, the thing is this: at 39, he's not old. He's not an old man. He may be old for sports as being a starting quarterback.
What are we talking about?
All right, so can I say what I'm saying before you get it into your other question? What I'm saying is this: at 39, with the technology that you have now and his will and the way that he takes care of his body, you're hearing Saquon Barkley coming back from an ankle surgery. These players have their own will. They're not just going to go by, okay, you're going to take 6 weeks. Of course, if you just listen to what they say, they have some people that tell you you're going to die in 6 months or whatever prognosis they give you. So he's going to take that, and then he's going to do his rehab, and he's going to come back. Worst case scenario with Aaron Rodgers, bro, he could just be a pocket passer. He's not going to be able to scramble around anymore, and the Jets just have to beefing up that offensive line. Simple, period, point blank. He's coming back, bro. Mark my words on that. But they did lose to the Cowboys after the Cowboys routed the Giants. I'm sorry, that was your Giants.
Watch your mouth.
Nah. You don't tell another grown man to watch his mouth. You
talking about my G-man.
You're
talking about my G-man there, man. You're getting a little saucy, man. You're pouring salt on the wound.
Come on, man. I'm just saying, we just talking sports, baby. We in the sports bar, baby.
Yeah, but I got to give you credit. That Dallas train is looking pretty formidable now.
They're a very quick defense.
I'll tell you, I picked Dallas to win our division. I definitely picked Dallas to win that first week game against the Giants. I didn't expect us to get shut out. I didn't expect us to look as horrible as we did. Rumor is that because the same thing happened week 2 when we played who did we just play that we just beat?
The Cardinals. One of the worst teams in the league, bro.
Right. And we still
how could you forget that?
And we still look, that's why I forgot. And we still look crappy in the beginning of the game.
First half, baby.
And the rumor is that the Giants head coach the Giants head coach, Brian Dable, took over play calling duties in the second half, and that's what sparked the turnaround for us.
Well, don't change that, bro.
Well, we'll see, because he's denying it. He's saying there's no turmoil,
Hey.
there's no controversy. So
Hey,
we'll
listen.
see what happens. But if, ask me, I hope that he continues to call the plays if that's what got us back on track.
Hey, it is. You should be more excited you guys pulled out that victory. That was the second largest comeback victory in New York Giants history, coming back by 21 points in that second half, man. Yeah. Is there a story to tell, man? Is it too early? The Giants, I don't know where their season is going to go because they just lost Saquon Barkley for a couple weeks. Although he wants to be the Superman, Iron Man, Thor, whatever, Hulk you want to name. I don't think he's coming back this week, so you're going to have to deal with that.
He's definitely not coming back. It's a short week. Matter of fact, we play in 2 days. There's no way that Saquon will be on the field and be effective enough to stay in the game. We got Matt Breida. And like I said, Matt Breida.
Who?
Listen, exactly. We'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out.
Who?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out,
man.
We'll figure it out.
We ain't gonna talk about the offense of the Giants no more. Let's talk about who's the best in the NFC right now. Because you got either the Cowboys or the 49ers. Let's get it.
I don't know. I go 49ers and then the Cowboys right now.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you say?
Right now, I would have to say that the Cowboys, I'm very impressed with their performances far, but it's only 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to give it a little bit more time before I can say. They have to show me that they can beat the Eagles and they have to beat the 49ers, because the 49ers made it to the NFC Championship and then the Eagles as well. And then the Eagles went on to the Super Bowl and then lost to the Chiefs. So with that being said, I'm going to have to say Eagles is not really looking good right now. So I'm going to have to say San Francisco 1, the Eagles 2, and the Cowboys 3. Until the Cowboys beat the Eagles or the 49ers, that's my top 3. What you think about the AFC?
The AFC right now looks like Miami's to lose.
Think so?
They're probably the most potent offense. I mean, 2 games in, but right now they're looking like the most potent offense in the league. You can never discount Kansas City. I think Kansas City will definitely be there as always. But Miami right now is rocking on all cylinders. And I think the biggest thing that hurt Miami previously was Tua not being able to stay on the field.
Bro, Belichick put the clamps on your man last week. The speedster. Miami only scored 24 points last week against that Belichick defense, bro. 24-17 was the final score. They put the clamps on Tyreek Hill, my man. So I would suggest to you that we got to give it a little bit more time, but I don't doubt Miami. But you think they're really Super Bowl ready to beat Kansas City?
I mean, my way too
Wishful
early
thinking.
My way too early prediction for the Super Bowl right now, judging by what we've seen, would be San Francisco and I don't know.
KC, they got beat by Detroit though in the first week. That was without their mans though. Kelsey was out, right? Pardon me. And your man Chris Jones was out, who was holding out on the contract dispute.
Let me ask you another question. How big a difference do you think, or how big an impact do you think Eric Bieniemy not being there anymore will play in Kansas City's fortunes this season? Remember, he left and he went to Washington, I think it is. He's an OC for Washington right now.
Understood.
For the Commanders.
Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, is a brilliant offensive mind. Remember, he went to like 5 NFC championships, but he just couldn't win them. But he's always been an incredible coach, and he's going to have an incredible staff around him. I don't even doubt that. What I thought was the reason, and it was only the first game of the season, and Detroit had an axe to grind because Jared Goff, the quarterback of the Lions, played against your man from Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, when he was with the Rams, and they had one of the greatest games ever. And the final score was like 55-52 or some crazy score, some college score game. So when Goff was playing against him, he always plays his best against Patrick Mahomes because he feels like he's supposed to be on the same level, but Goff is just not as consistent. So they took that L, and plus Chris Jones and Travis Kelce not being there was the big difference because you have your best player on your defense and your best skill player on your offense gone. The line in Vegas moved like 5 points when they heard that Travis Kelce was not going to be in the lineup.
Yeah.
But AFC, what about them Bills? What do you think with them Bills?
The Bills are kind of an enigma. Josh Allen, he looks good. Sometimes plays a little out of control, like you saw in the first week. Right. But I don't know. I don't know about the Bills, man. I think somebody in Buffalo years ago, pissed God off or something like that because because
they got all that snow last year.
The 4 straight AFC. Let's just go back to the 80s, the late 80s, the 4 straight AFC championship. Well, losing in the Super Bowl 4 times. How about that?
So that's telling
snake bit like I don't know what.
So you're telling their fan base that no matter what team they put on the field, something's going to happen to prevent them from winning the Super Bowl in their lifetime. That's what you're saying?
I think they're a good team, but
yes and no, bro. You just said yes and no, bro. Come on, man.
I definitely think they jinx, brother. So I gotta stay. I believe in the jinx. I believe in the jinx.
So we're gonna move on from that, man. The Bills, man. You keep rubbing that brand though.
I believe in the jinx.
Live from the diamond, man. The NL playoff race heats up, my G. What do you think about the NL playoff race right now? You got a lot of teams in play. You got the Cubs. You got San Francisco. And 2 games or less separate each team. What do you feel about that, my G? That's kind of crazy right there.
I think you can never discount Houston. They find a way.
We're talking about the National League first.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Talking about the National League.
Yeah, bro. The Phillies right now, they have a 4-game lead. This is the NL wild card race, right?
Right.
And a lot of people argued against it before it was instituted, but it's made the game more competitive. So we're just going to go through. The Phillies have a 4-game lead in the first wild card spot. And then you got the Diamondbacks, they a half game back. Then the Cubs and the Reds are tied. Then you got the Marlins a half game back. And then you got the Giants 2 games back, my G.
Cubs are crazy. That's surprising. But end of the day, the top dog, Atlanta, I think, they're the beast right now in the National League that everybody got to look out for.
They just lost like 3 straight, though, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. The playoffs is about streaks. You can have the best regular season record, and you
get hot at the right time.
You don't walk away with the chip. You feel me? So we're going to move on to the AL because I see that's where you got your heart at in Houston. I thought you was a Yankee fan, but I
am a Yankee fan, but where are we?
Let's go.
Where are we?
Let's go.
We talking about who I like or what I think. I mean,
all right, let's go then. Houston is in first place in the wild card standings. They got a 1.5 game lead over the Rangers and the Mariners. And this has been real streaky because 1 week the Rangers lose like 3 games, then they win like 4. The most consistent team, to your point, although I was getting at you, the Astros have been the most consistent team.
The Astros are dangerous. They're just a team that shows that all they have to do is get in it. All they have to do is get in it, and you have to watch out for them. You can't sleep on a team like Houston.
They have the experience, and plus, bro, they'll do anything to win, man. They'll cheat your signs. I don't know. They might take your players out on the town one night, bro, and introduce them to the lifestyle in their town and get them caught up, man, and not really ready to rock, man. You can't put nothing past Houston. That was a team that got sanctioned for stealing during the whole playoffs, and they had to take a World Series from them, bro. But they did get vindicated when Dusty Baker came in and won his first World Series, and I was happy that they did that.
You know, straight from the "Let He Without Sin Cast the First Stone" files.
No, it's actual.
Houston got caught. Houston got caught.
Bro, it ain't no sin cast the first files, bro.
Houston got caught. There were allegations about. Yeah,
bro, they took the chip from them. You didn't hear what I said?
I heard
they
you.
Took the
I heard
chip.
you because
no
they got caught.
Because
they got caught. There were other teams that got accused of the same thing. I remember somebody accused New York of doing that.
Well, they do it in Little League, but
I think they
took
do
it to other
major
levels
leagues as well.
No, I'm saying if they do it in Little League, they do it on all levels of baseball. But what I'm saying, they took it to an egregious level. We all understand that it's all done at a certain point during the game, but they took it to an egregious level, bro. That's why they got sanctioned. Well, do you think they're going to repeat those cheating bastards from Houston?
Like I said, you can't count Houston out, man. They're a team that once they get in the playoffs, man, they find a way. You know, they find a way. So we can't discount them any more than any other team in the playoffs.
All right, so you got Houston for the AL. Who you have coming out the National League then? Dodgers, you said the Braves.
Yeah.
Phillies could get hot.
The Phillies could get hot. Yeah, I'm still
to be continued.
To be continued. I'm still thinking Atlanta can turn it around.
All right, let's do it then. Let's move on to your favorite sport, man. NBA round ball around the world. Bouncing to the WNBA playoff, the Las Vegas Aces look to repeat as they just swept their series 2-0.
Right.
Aces you think about tough. The playoffs, the WNBA right now, baby.
The Aces look tough. Our Liberty looked tough too. So this is the first time in years that I've actually been interested in, the postseason for the WNBA. Of course, because my hometown Liberty is in it. And I think, we're in for a treat this year. We're going to see, I think it's going to be, Las Vegas. Well, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be Las Vegas and New York back there again.
Back there again? Okay.
Yeah. And
I definitely have to give a shout out to the WNBA Women's League, man. When people used to doubt their level of play, and I ain't even going to front. I've been there back in the days when they used to throw up mad breaks and they weren't coordinated, weren't really running set plays, and there was a lot of ISO ball, and it wasn't crisp and clean. But I have to really tip my hat, man, and give a lot of standing ovations to the WNBA women's players, man. They have been putting in a lot of work and stepped the level of play up. I'm really looking forward to this playoffs. I'm really riding with the Liberty, although I think it's going to be a tough battle if they face the Aces, in the championship. Any other team, I think they can handle. But the Aces, they're a problem. They're definitely.
I don't even want to jinx it. I think as a matter of fact, New York and Washington play game 2 tonight.
They on live right now, baby.
Exactly. So just fingers crossed that the Liberty take care of business, and they get to the finals.
And we got
to your point, shouts out to the WNBA.
Definitely.
It's been a struggle. The league is struggling, but I think they have a new formula now. A lot of new players. They're spotlighting certain players. There have been a lot of feats this year that have really helped propel the sport more so into the spotlight. And even the fact that you have more athletic players in the league. There are more women dunking every single season. So I really think that's one of the things that'll help catapult the league to where it needs to be as far as gaining the right fan following.
Honestly, bro, I don't even care if they dunk, man. I just want to see them make buckets, bro.
Well,
That's
I think for the casual fan,
I don't even care about the casual fan. The WNBA is a very young league, man, and you can't compare them to the NBA. So when we do that, we marginalize them, and I think too many people do that. The ABA and the NBA are much older leagues, and the WNBA, man, they're spectacular for the amount of time that they've had organized women basketball in the United States. Their salaries could be better. They're supported by NBA teams because every NBA franchise also has a WNBA franchise as well in each city. That's how they make money in all facets. Whether it's the D League, all of that. But I don't want to get too much off into that. We're gonna get back to that. The other game on cap tonight is Atlanta and Dallas at 9 p.m. Who you think will win that matchup?
Atlanta and Dallas. That's going to be a tough one. I think Dallas pulled out the first one, didn't they?
Yeah.
I got to go with Dallas on that.
Yeah. Right now, Dallas leads.
Yeah, Dallas is the higher seed on that as well. They have a 1-game lead.
All right, one day we're going to go down to the Barclays, man, and we're going to chop it up with the Liberty women's basketball players, man, and show them they love, man. Bring them. You going to bring them some flowers, G? Or you going to bring the Liberty?
I am not because I have learned my lesson from Mikal Bridges shooting his shot at Asia Wilson.
And word.
Her. I don't know if he was shooting his shot, but a couple of months ago he mentioned something about, hey, let's come down there. We want to come down there and hang out. To which Asia responded, yo, we good over here.
Yo, he was at the game shouting at Sabrina Ionescu too.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more admirable things about NBA and the NBA
they show
players.
Each other support.
They are very much in support of the WNBA and seem to have a very vested interest in the success of the women's league. So shouts out to NBA players who are really supporting and promoting the WNBA they should. Their sister sport like they should.
Now, talking about Germany winning their first gold medal, man, in the FIBA. Dennis Schroeder, your man, who's once upon a time jobless, is the MVP of the whole tournament, bro. What you feel about that?
Shouts out to Schroeder, man. He's a dog, He gets at it. I think I kind of felt bad for him after he, blew that contract opportunity with with LA when they offered him like 21 a year and he turned it down.
Passed it up?
Yeah, he passed it down.
21 mil?
It was 4 years, 21 mil, and he thought he could get a better deal. And he ended up not. Well, that's a great question.
LeBron did him a favor.
That's a great question. And I often question
when you get a chance to play with LeBron, that's like a promotion, bro.
Well, I often question the motives of some of these agents. Like, do they really have their client's best interest at heart? Or is it, they're trying to get the most money, just money, as opposed to situations? Because sometimes you can get your client a great deal, but at the end of the day, once that deal is over, you limit the opportunities, especially if that client is overpaid, as opposed to getting that client in a situation where he thrives and has more opportunities for a sustained career, and thereby giving you, the agent, your cut, so. Sounds
like Dennis was representing himself, man. But shout outs to Dennis Schroeder, man, MVP of the FIBA World Cup.
Definitely shout out
with that in mind, man. Who's the world champion? Germany, the Denver Nuggets, or whoever wins in the Olympics in 2024?
The Olympic team is the world champion. Period. Point blank.
Say less. What you think about these NBA players, man, and the load management problems? Are these rules illegal under the CBA?
I don't think so. And if it is, I think it's definitely something that they're going to address because, it has a great objective, and that's to help the fans. Imagine a fan, a father whose son want his son, all his son sleeps, drinks, and breathes is LeBron James. LeBron James is coming to Charlotte. This dad has saved up some money and got some tickets for him, his son, and his son's friend to go to the arena. And you find out LeBron James is not dressing. He's not playing. He's sitting on the sidelines. I definitely think for home games especially, you know, make whatever arrangements you made, you know, if you're really hurt. But a road game, you know, especially smaller market teams, when you have prominent teams or superstar players coming to the league, man,
going to Minnesota.
Put him in
Steph
the game,
Curry
man.
is coming to Minnesota.
And I realize the players
on the sideline.
Yeah, and I realize the players won't dress because they don't want to go in the game for 5 minutes and then sit down and then probably mess up their averages. You know,
at least
so they'd rather not. That's what I agree.
Sign autographs.
I agree with you, but I think at the end of the day, it's about no. I got to protect my legacy. I got to protect.
Okay, so what if they're really hurt?
What'd you say?
What if they're really hurt?
Well, yeah, absolutely. No one wants to play hurt. No one should play hurt.
So
no one should play with the risk of aggravating the injury even more.
Understood. So how can the NBA now enforce that rule?
What do you mean? How can they enforce it?
They just imposed it. They said 2 star players like LeBron and Anthony Davis cannot sit out at the same time. Primetime games, nationally televised games. These cats is they're just saying these cats is just banging out, not coming to work.
Well, you know, like I said, I think if anything, you know, my initial opinion was make them dress, even if they're not going to play. Make them dress and sit on the bench. You know, I think they make the players or they make them unavailable and keep them in street clothes to protect their investment and their interests. But make them dress. Make them get out there for a couple of plays at least, man. A quarter.
Commissioner said, "Go play, man, for your fans and for the investors and the sponsors, man."
These guys are making an obscene amount of money. And I'll tell you another thing. One thing that I don't like is how certain athletes want to have it both ways. You know, you want the money, you want the fame, you want the preferential treatment, you want the notoriety, but then you don't want the responsibility of being a role model or setting a good example for kids or living your life a certain way that doesn't attract negative attention to yourself, your family, and your team. You can't be a regular person when it suits you and be a celebrity when it benefits you.
Well, Charles Barkley, he got a whole school of them said, "I'm not a role model."
And he was absolutely wrong. I think that comes along with the salary, that comes along with the adulation, with the posters, with the signatures, sneakers,
the sponsors,
with the sponsorships.
You all have influence, a lot of that.
It comes along with it.
Somebody who did not use discretion with his influence is your man, Mel Tucker. He's in the abyss. He gets fired amid sex allegations. Your man has 7 days to let Michigan State know why he should not be fired. What you think about that?
Yeah, so my understanding is there was a clause in his contract that if he's ever terminated with cause, he has 7 days to present his case to the athletic directors and the general body to dispute the accusations against him. And from what I understand, he's insinuating that he and this lady had a consensual relationship. And, you know,
that part right there. What do you think about that?
What do you mean?
Okay, you're a coach. So that means you're not a man or you're not sexually active. So you can't have sex with anyone within what's in the contract? Is there like a distance radius from the college?
I'll say this.
Deal with somebody.
I'll say this.
Because allegedly he said, pardon me. Allegedly he said that the person made one appearance at the college and that was it.
Yeah. I think much like I just mentioned about NBA players and when they choose not to be role models, I think any celebrity, any person in the public eye, especially that's making a lot of money for the position that they have that puts them in the public eye, you're expected to carry yourself a certain way. You're expected to adhere to certain standards. Much like Ime Udoka, you know, he lost his job with Boston behind a consensual, even though it was but it was consensual.
That's my point, bro. But I think that they are putting these coaches under unreasonable expectations, because these owners and other people who are making these decisions and rulings over these coaches, you don't know what they do in their personal life and their background. And I just think it's unfair that their personal life is being put out in Front Street and they are still performing at their job. Like if he was messing at it up at his job, I could see that. But these one time dealing with one person that made one appearance at the college, like, come on, you're gonna say that I'm not a human being then. I can't have any relationship outside of this college unless you sanction it or approve it. If not, you're gonna be fired. So my question to you now is, what will be the outcome of this? He's due about $78 million.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons why these allegations mysteriously, I don't say mysteriously, but all of a sudden came out. And
Wow.
you know, to your point about what you do in your private life, the whole reason for him being terminated is because this lady insinuated that certain things that he said to her or implied or tried to do were unwanted. He made unwanted advancements or inappropriate comments or tried to have inappropriate conversations with her. And she turned around and reported him for it. And, you know, now he's facing the consequences for that. But I look at it like this. If somebody told you, you're going to be, you're going to be my lawyer, my personal private lawyer. You don't work for another firm. You have your legal degree, but you work for me. But the one caveat that I have, well, I'm going to pay you $5 million a year. And the one caveat that I have is you can't drink alcohol. You can't get caught speeding. They lay certain
That's too much control, bro. That's too much control, bro.
Well, it depends.
Let's move
Because
on,
at the end of the
man.
day,
that's too much.
At the end
that
of the
sounds
day,
like
the person
slavery,
that's cutting
bro.
the check
Exactly.
can have as much control as you agree to let them have. And when
Well,
you sign
maybe
on the
he
dotted
didn't.
line, you agree to that
I
control.
think it sounds like a setup, like LT said back in the days, man. Let's wait until the facts of this case comes out in more detail so we can make a more informed decision. But I think he's getting slighted, man. $78 million on the table. One person came and said this. Well, we're going to have to wait and see, man. But he definitely gets the Dennis the Menace Award along with your man Kevin Porter Jr., who caught a DV case, man. Talk to us about your man Kevin Porter Jr.
It's a sad situation, man. That young brother had a very bright future ahead of him that unfortunately looks very bleak. Well, I won't say very bleak now, but very bleak as it pertains to being a professional athlete.
He's out of the league.
And that's all due to his temper. There were accounts, and of course, once one thing happens, then all types of news and stories come out and start resurfacing. And there were all types of incidents that all of a sudden came out, like him smashing a DJ's laptop in a nightclub and causing a fracas in the club.
That's crazy.
A fight. Him getting into an altercation with the Cavaliers GM when they signed Taurean Prince and gave Taurean Prince Kevin Porter Jr.'s locker. And he confronted the GM in the locker room in front of people. So this guy is definitely a loose cannon.
He's a menace.
He's
a menace, bro.
He's gonna have a lot of time to think about that, because I definitely think there's going to be some jail time involved. I mean, from what I understand, he bruised or damaged in some vertebrae.
Allegedly.
I mean, but from the accounts that came out, of course, there's a lot of right.
Allegedly,
there's a lot of stories. There are a lot
allegedly.
But
bro.
what we know for a fact is that he assaulted and hurt this young lady. This young lady who was,
I don't know. I wasn't there, bro. I wasn't there.
You think everybody's lying?
I don't know, bro. We gotta wait and see, bro. The case is still pending.
So put it like this: as talented as he is, Houston's trying to trade him.
Okay, because they don't need that.
They actually just waived him, but they.
All right. So what I'm saying to you is, whether he's guilty or not, they don't want that type of energy around the organization. That I can agree with you on. But allegedly, he did choke somebody out, strangulation, all that. The case is pending. We already know he's out the league. No one is gonna touch him with a 10-foot pole.
I'll put it to you like this: you
So-
say allegedly, but if it was alleged, why did the young lady who he assaulted, why did her sister go on social media and she let Kevin Porter Jr. have it, basically threatening him?
That's her family. She's supposed to do that,
right?
Whether
But she wouldn't threaten this guy
whether
if he
she's
didn't
right
do
or
what
wrong.
he wouldn't have been threatened if he didn't
Bro,
do
come
what he's
on.
been
Whether
accused
you
of doing.
right or wrong, we out in them streets. I'm gonna hold you down. Julio Arias, man, also caught a DV case. He's out. Cats is just throwing away millions of dollars, man, catching these cases. Get some counseling, get some therapy, do what you got to do, man, or move on from that relationship, man. It's not worth it. What about your man that used to play for your Giants, man? Denarius Toney, man. He deleted his social media after getting attacked by Giants fan. That's your people's, man. Talk about that.
Oh, Kadarius? Yeah. He didn't want to play for us, or he didn't want to play for Brian Dable. And he he's a professional troll, let's put it like that. Right. Giants fans had nothing nice to say about him once we traded him. He had nothing nice to say about Giants fans to this point where he's still trolling them. He trolled us after the Kansas City victory. Well, no, sorry. He trolled us after the Kansas City Super Bowl. And then again, he got right back up on that troll horse when we got blown out by Dallas in week 1. Yeah, I just think it's too much energy that Giants fans are giving this cat, man.
But he deleted his social media account. Then he hopped back on.
He deleted it because he stunk up the joint week 1 with
versus
the drops,
the Lions.
with the drops and everything.
Yeah, I heard about that. Denarius, man, get it together over there. Stand your ground, young man. Stop deleting accounts. You know
right.
Who else
Stand behind your words. Stand behind your nonsense.
The Dennis the Menace Award continues. Your man Henry Ruggs, I have to say to sports athletes, be more responsible, man. You're getting millions of dollars. You got a lot of notoriety. Got a lot of attention out there in the streets, man. Be more careful, man. Think wisely. Henry Ruggs III, man, driving 156 miles per hour drunken in his car, killed a young teenage girl, man, when he was playing for the Oakland Raiders, man. Athletes got to do better, man. Definitely.
I just think it's a matter of accountability. I hadn't seen it as much in New York, but being here in Virginia, and my son's playing rec sports and AAU sports, and then one of my sons going on to play in high school sports.
It's crazy.
I seen from young how certain athletes, when they show promise, are treated. They're given preferential treatment. They're allowed to break certain rules without the same consequences as lesser talented children. And it's just a matter of them being pampered and coddled and let to get away with murder from when they're in elementary school, and it carries on all the way to when they eventually land in the league. I won't say a lot of them, but there are those who are just incapable of accepting responsibility for anything they do because of how they've been treated. And can you really blame them?
They've been conditioned. I agree with that. I agree with that.
If people
they're gonna get blamed, bro,
for you since you were a child. Once you become an adult and you get to a certain problem level and you realize, all right, I'm on this on my own. It's different.
Man, Kevin Porter Jr. is learning the hard way that they have to be accountable.
There are a lot of them learning. There are a lot of them learning. It's a
learning the hard way, man. Learning the hard way.
It's one thing to make mistakes, but try and make mistakes that don't affect other people, man. Just yourself. When you affect other lives and hurt other people, it's not good.
Definitely not, bro. And rest in peace to the families who were affected by those athletes who were not responsible. Moving along to the mass unit. What do you think about the turf and all the major injuries in the NFL, bro?
Hey, listen, not to be insensitive or whatever. Shouts out to Chubb last night. My first pick in my fantasy draft this year.
Oh, man.
And he is done. And I saw the injury. I only saw it once. I did not want to watch it again. Shouts out to all of the news outlets that refused to show it because it was pretty gruesome.
It was a
A man,
compound fracture.
a human being's knee is not supposed to bend in the way that Chubb's knee bent last
But
night.
it didn't break the bone though. It didn't break the skin though.
Yeah, but still, the way it bent, the knee
I
is
can
not
deal
supposed to
with
bend
that.
that way, you know. But to
I
your
can
point,
deal
or
with
to your
that. It didn't break the
initial
skin.
question,
That would have been worse.
yeah, but to your initial question, there's definitely been a cry around the league, especially from players and trainers and coaching staff to get rid of this artificial turf and let's get natural grass. I know it's not the most cost efficient thing to do.
It's only
But
gonna be $18 million, bro.
Yeah, but at the end of the
For a
day,
$1 billion industry, that's peanuts, bro. Your
absolutely.
man AROD is out. Your man Odell Beckham just tore up his ankle. Your man Saquon Barkley's injured.
Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 running backs that are going to miss considerable amount of games due to injuries in the first 2 weeks.
What about the rookie and Anthony Richardson that plays for the Colts, right?
Yeah.
He fell on the turf, and now he has a concussion. He's going to be out. So, NFL, my message to you is stop being cheap, man. It's only going to cost maybe $15 to $18 million to change from turf fields to grass fields. And you can save your players time from being on the injured list, and you're not getting a return on your investment, because that's what they look at them as is an investment at the end of the day. Because right now, if you look at it, your man Leonard Fournette is out of the league at 28 years old.
Yeah,
Owners
he might be
are
back in the
now,
league.
maybe, but owners are now cutting players at a younger age, and they're looking at it like this is around the time he's going to start to get injured, and that's what they're using to combat the argument to say that Nick Chubb should have got a bigger contract since he first got in the league.
I don't know that they should have gotten a bigger contract, because at the end of the day, artificial turf or not, running backs take the most punishment in a football game, and they definitely have the shortest lifespan of any position on the field. With that being said, I don't know how you could really justify paying a running back more than a quarterback. I mean, the quarterbacks are protected for the most part by the league. Wide receivers, they're protected as well, because some of them are even initiating a lot of these helmet to helmet calls that are going against the DBs. The receiver, he sees the contact coming and he balls up and bends his head down.
No, this is you. If you saw the play, the defensive player went at him at the knees, because he said it that Nick Chubb is too diesel up top. So if he tried to hit Nick Chubb up top, that he wouldn't have been able to stop him. So he went for his knees intentionally. Just on the football play, he didn't know he was going to injure him, of course. I'm not making those allegations, but he purposely went for his knees. So the running backs are saying we should get our money because we putting our life, our bodies on the line, man. But I think that's something that should be revisited, pardon me, because a lot of players are getting injured, and the more star players get injured, they need to get their union together. Doesn't the NFL have a strong union?
Yeah, they got a players union, just like every other professional sport.
Definitely. So did you see your boy? I don't know if you into the mano a mano in the UFC and the octagon and all that, but I was riding with your man Sean Strickland, and then he got a big upset win versus Israel Adesanya. I thought Adesanya was a little bit too thin. He looked nice and oiled up, but Sean Strickland just came with the barroom brawl and just put the beats on him.
Yeah, I didn't see the fight, but I heard that Adesanya, Israel definitely from coming into the ring, he didn't have it that night. He didn't look prepared. There was some accounts that said he didn't even look like he was taking the fight seriously until he knew he was in trouble. So, but at least, the hats off to Adesanya for, congratulating and admitting that, he didn't have it that night and the better man won. It was no cop outs or anything like that. He stood in there and, wore the L just like he would have, flaunted the W. So
Okay.
Shouts out to Strickland for the dub, and definitely salute to Israel for being a man and facing the music.
Definitely. What do you think about your man Canelo and Charlo? That's the fight that everybody's been wanting to see. Canelo fight one of the Charlo brothers.
Which Charlo? The one that got slapped in the hallway? We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
That's coming up. That's coming up. But let's close out the mano a mano. I think that's gonna be an interesting fight. I got Canelo, man, because your response to when I said Charlo wasn't too didn't give me good vibes. The streets is talking, and that wasn't a good vibe coming from the streets, bro.
Definitely not.
So I'm going with Canelo. So we're gonna move on to BK Ty's top 5.
All right. Well, tonight we're gonna go into feeding off of the Aaron Rodgers injury for the New York Jets. Shouts out to my brother Jermaine. Shouts out to my dad. Shouts out to my stepdad. We're going to go with the top 5 worst moments in New York sports.
Definitely.
Coming in at number 5, because we're talking about it, let's put Aaron Rodgers on there. Getting hurt 4 plays into the game. Like, not even having a like, if you look back at this season, you can't even really say, like, if he hangs it up, can you actually say that Aaron Rodgers played for the Jets? That's a tough one right there.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere?
Nah, bro, because first of all, you can't skip past that without acknowledging the fact that how much hype the Jets had going into the preseason. They were on Hard Knocks on HBO. He was coming in talking about he was a savior. He was about to save the franchise. They didn't have a chip since Joe Namath, and he was coming to bring one to New York. Come on, man. You know how many New Yorkers of the Green Gang was let down once he got injured in the first 4 snaps of the series?
Hence it coming in at top 5 on the list.
Right. So with that being said, AROD, there was so much behind that, bro, that you have now a whole franchise. Because I ain't even a Jets fan. Jets is like my 3rd team. And the way that was felt, because if he was in the 8th or 9th or 10th game of the season and he got some burn and he got injured because, whatever reason, that's one thing. But 4 snaps, bro, you got to get that hurt, bro. You a Giants fan, so you ain't really feeling it. But bro.
I'm a New York fan. I love the Jets as long as they're not playing the Giants.
All right, what's number 4, bro?
Number 4 is a tie between Reggie Miller and the 8 points in 9 seconds to knock the Knicks out of the 1995 the choke game.
Wow.
Or 94
that was a dagger.
With John Starks going 2 for 13 or whatever it was against Houston in the 94 finals. 3 for 18, man.
Never forget it. 3 for 18.
I gotta put I don't know which one hurt more. I think the one in the finals probably hurt more, but they were both big blows to New York basketball.
Jordan was out the league. That was their window.
That was the window. We didn't pull it out. Next on the list is the butt fumble.
What?
Mark Sanchez. I don't know if it's as big a New York tragedy as it is a personal tragedy to be known when everybody looks at you or when they think of your name, they think of a butt fumble. That's a pretty hard pill to swallow, right?
That was attached to New York, though. He was wearing a New York uniform.
He was.
That's like one of your team not shining, man, and doing something dumb like that, man. You attached to it. That's your man's, right? Yeah. You gotta eat that too.
You gotta eat that. Yeah, absolutely. Number 2,
Sanchez, and he's a cool dude in person.
I believe it. Number 2 was an absolute tragedy in New York City. I think it was 77. The death of Thurman Munson in the plane crash when he was on his way.
79 season.
78 when he was on his way back home to Ohio from playing in New York.
79, yeah.
That was definitely a tragedy felt across the city, Yankee fans or not. That was definitely a big loss, but not as big,
definitely.
but not as big a
Definitely.
tragedy as what comes in at number one, 9/11. I know that's not a sports tragedy per se, but that was definitely a tragedy that was felt around the tri-state area, around the country for real. And the way all sports just rallied around New York at that time. It shut down the city sports-wise for about a week, but when it came back, like the love, the positivity, I don't know, the camaraderie in the air, like everybody was one. Everybody was a New Yorker at this time, and it was definitely a major tragedy in this country. But the fact that the epicenter of the tragedy was in New York at Ground Zero, World Trade Center, which is now known as Ground Zero. I think that's number one on the top 5 worst moments in New York sports.
Yeah, so they shut down the city, man. Shut down the city for like a week, no sports.
Yep.
But they did galvanize the city. The Yankees went to the World Series that year versus the Diamondbacks. They represented definitely, man. Yo, BK Ty, man. Thanks for that top 5 list, man. BK
Absolutely.
Ty's top 5. Definitely gonna be popping every week. So I ain't even gonna ask you what you got in store for us next week because I know it's gonna be popping. So take us out, bro.
Next week, the top 5 will be the top 5 finest wives in New York sport. No, I'm joking. It's not going to be that. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be an awesome top 5 again next week for sure.
Definitely check us on Facebook at Sports in the City TV. On our YouTube. Definitely shout out to my man on the boards controlling the scene. My man Logic. Peace.
Shouts out to iRant Network.
Definitely
and
iRant
the Ranters
Network.
Union.
Definitely the Ranters Union in the building. Shout out to one of the originators, Kato Cash. Shout out to you, BK Ty, for definitely
Salute to you, my
this.
brother. Salute to you.
And definitely shout out to Brooklyn, New York, where we represent.
Shouts out to the 757, where
people's in VA.
that I now call home. And lastly, big shout out to all of our future supporters, our current supporters. And shout out to the haters too, because you don't got haters, you're not doing it right.
Definitely, man. We ain't got no haters though. It's your man Reed Richards, aka Just the God. Peace to my man BK Ty, brother from another mother, man. Yo, Logic, man. What we going out with, my G? You ready?